Hello friends, my name is Sonu Singh and you have started watching me to this YouTube channel. So I always come up with the ideas and suggestions that can help you to improve your communication skill. Many times it is believed that someone who is God gifted or someone who is born speaker, they can be an amazing leader. But this is not true. There are various people who followed it with consistency and they have the amazing communication skill. So communication skill, or if you consider any skill, then that can't be God gifted. No, it is something that can be honed, that can be learned by the practice, by the consistency. Yeah, someone may have that background where they were exposed to certain situations where they were used to this situation where they communicated regularly, they practiced it regularly, and that's how they are having the good communication skill. So instead of following the wrong perception, it is very important for you to stick with the right techniques. And right technique is that you can become a greatest communicator, but you need to be consistent with it. Okay, let me put an example in front of you. Suppose that you get a chance to tell a story to the crowd, to the audience. What will happen? The first time when you tell the story, you know the story. There's no problem with that. You may have the language competency also. But for the first time, you will say it, you will tremble, you will have the problem. And after finishing your story, you realize that you did not do the justice with the story. You could have done it in a better way, you could have done it in a different way. But you did not do it well. What will happen? That very moment you realize that if you get these kinds of situations again and again, then you can overcome your anxiety problem, because this is the one thing that everyone have. It is not about the language competency, it is not about having the knowledge, because you know the story. But the problem is that the moment you face the crowd, the moment you face the audience, you start having the anxiety, and anxiety is something that stops your mind from being logical. It stops receiving the logical information in your head, and that's how you feel stuck. You feel that words and sentences are not coming in your mind. So how can you deal with it? There's only one way to deal with it, that every time try to communicate with the masses. Okay, you get started with the storytelling. Suppose that you open your camera and you tell a story. You take 5 minutes or 10 minutes and you try to tell the story in a very fancy manner. Because what happens that if you are just trying to tell the story without using your hand gesture and without having the proper eye contact and right body language, then you will not be able to do the justice with the story. Storytelling is an art. If you want to tell the story in an appropriate manner, then it is very important to have the right body language. It is very important to use your hand gesture, your body language, so that you can exactly portray the character and seriousness of the story in the minds of the listener. So it is not possible to attain with just one effort. Maybe you can tell the story, but there will not be efficiency. But trust me, that if you practice the one story for 10 times, 15 times, or even 20 times, and then you go to stage, what will happen? You yourself believe that you did whatever it takes. You were performing better. And why you are performing better? Because you were practicing it. And the moment you start practicing storytelling or any message with the purpose, and definitely you will start observing that what is the problem that you have in your communication skill. And the moment you notice it, you will start improving it. So the first thing is that you need to be consistent with it. Communication skill can only be achieved if you are consistent with it. And second thing is that we always fear that how to improve our body language. Now, body language is something that cannot be learned by theory. You need to practice it. You need to go to the stage, you need to practice the storytelling, just stand up. Sometimes it happens that we try to talk while sitting on the chair. So if you sit on the chair, you have a different way of communicating. You don't use your feet, you don't use most of the part of your body. But when you are standing on the stage, you have to use the stage, you have to use every body part. Like you cannot just feel stuck at a place. You need to walk sometimes you need to look here and there, sometimes you need to look directly through the audience so that they can feel that you are actually talking to them. And we don't only use our feet, we use our hands hands also. We use our hands, sometimes we use our facial expression, so that we can exactly portray the character that we are talking about in the story. So all these body language, facial expression and hand gesture can only be practiced when you are consistent with it. In early days it was a kind of difficult situation, because there was only one option in front of us, and that was practicing in front of the mirror. But now, thanks to the technology, that we have the mobile, we have the camera. So if you want to practice the art of storytelling, or if you want to practice the communication for different regions, then you can just do that. If you want to practice the storytelling, then it is fine. Just stand in front of your camera, consider that now you are on the stage, and try to tell your story in an effective manner. And later on you can go through the video and you can get the honest feedback that how did you perform. And if you find any mistake, if you find any problem, the next time you'll try to overcome it. But sometimes we have the salesman, sometimes we have the blogger, sometimes we have the different kind of people who require the different kind of communication skill. So you can do one thing, that you can do the role play. This can be an amazing thing for you. Suppose that now you are playing a character of a blogger, and you are trying to explain everything live. So now stand up in front of a camera, or take your camera in your hand, or take your mobile in the hand, and start talking like a blogger. Maybe for the first day it will feel odd to you, or you will not be able to connect yourself with the camera. But trust me one thing, that if you just be consistent with it, that after 1 month you will exactly feel like you're talking like a blogger. Next thing is that you may feel fear from the crowd. So you can go in front of the crowd, and don't believe that you are going to record yourself for uploading the video. Just believe that, okay, now you have to face the crowd, you have to make yourself comfortable among the crowd. So you can do one thing, that take your mobile, go out in the crowd and start reporting everything that comes to your way. In the beginning you will feel that people are watching at you, they are staring at you, and you will very keenly be attentive for them. You will watch everyone, that what is their facial expression. And since you know that you are not going to upload this video on the YouTube, you are just recording it for the practice, so there's no problem. Just start recording and keep going out in the crowd. And after 1 week you'll realize that people are not noticing you, or maybe they are noticing you, but you are not caring about them. Why? Because you become familiar with the situation. That situation is not scaring you, and if that situation is not scaring you, it means that you have overcome that fear of public speaking. You have overcome this fear of speaking among the crowd. So as you see, that if you are consistent with anything, you will definitely grow. And it is not only about the communication skill, be it the other skill like judo, karate, running, or maybe you want to hone the skill of mathematics. Just be consistent with it, because this is the problem with everyone, that if anyone start in the beginning, they'll have the anxiety problem. They will not feel comfortable. They will feel that, okay, this is enough, now I'll try tomorrow. But if you are consistent, then your ability, your strength to face these kinds of adverse situations will start growing, and you'll realize that now your communication skill is improving. So be consistent, practice, and follow the right technique. Like I told you, that if you want to be a storyteller, then just stand in front of the camera and imagine that now you are standing on the stage. Use your body language, just try to walk a few steps and try to portray that you are talking to the audience, so that you can have this feel. And next time, whenever you get the chance, just show the courage, because most of the time it happens that we realize that, okay, if I would have tried, if I would have dared, then definitely I could have spoken well English, I could have handled the crowd very well. But unfortunately I couldn't try, because I did not have that courage. So courage is not something that will appear in your head suddenly. Courage is something that comes with the practice. So next time you get the chance to speak publicly, raise your hands, go out and face it. Maybe you will speak wrong, maybe you will not do according to the expectation of the other people, but the good thing is that your journey starts now and you'll start improving. But it is very important to take the initiative. So you need to have the courage. Sometimes we are not able to solve biggest problem of our life only because we are not able to take the initiative, and communication is one of them. Public speaking is one of them. Like every individual fear public speaking, every individual fear of holding the mic, but there's only one way to deal with this fear, and that is by showing the courage, that is by taking the initiative. So these are the things that is very essential to improve the communication skill. So I hope that you will find this video informative, and if you find this video informative, then hit the subscribe button, like and share. Thank you for staying with me. See you in next video.